just got us just as we're doing something very holy and actually organising when we're going to church.
Holy.
Legitimately.
Legitimately.
So we've got all those dates in, Daniel?
Saturday, 2 p.m. Book now. Yes.
Perfect. Yes, well, we're going to church. Take us to church.
Who's here?
Hello, and welcome to Bitches with Beards. And on today's episode, I asked a question. And what brings more joy? Cynthia Ayana meeting the fans, or Hoda Cobb meeting a balloon?
Oh my gosh. And we love it whenever you decide to have your domestic disputes outside of Whole Foods when we're shopping.
We're the podcast that attempts to break down culture with all the elegance of two coastal grandmas.
But in truth, we're just a couple of bitches with beards.
I'm Max.
And I'm Daniel.
And we're live from the Diane Keating Memorial Podcast Studio in Haberdashery.
And we both have opinions, so let's get this party started.
Cheers. Oh,
cheers.
I'm still drinking the tea.
You're good.
It's Black Friday.
It is indeed.
Yes, we are. Well, we'll have to explain the drama with my mum, but no, we are sort of having a Daniel and I don't really do this thing of sit down, do nothing. No. We call that self-care, and it's usually in the evening.
Yeah, during a weekday.
But I was meant to be hosting I'm explaining the drama with my mother, but no, I was meant to be doing that. So I've ended up spending the morning working, but I am trying to get my head around the video, which I've had very little. I've had a lot of guidance, but it's still trying to make that sense of the guidance. But anyway, before we go into our weeks, we are non-hungover. You did have a glass set of wine yesterday.
No, I didn't have wine.
Because I know you said you were going to.
I said I was going to, and then whenever I saw it was red, I was like, oh no, I shouldn't do that. I was like,
But it was a nice red because we spent our lovely Thanksgiving round Anthony, Jeremiah and Zach's.
Yes, we did.
And we were just saying, not 5-10 minutes before the start of recording, what a lovely day, afternoon, evening we had.
Our hosts were most gracious. The food was superb. The decor was whimsical and Christmas.
I was going to say, I honestly have to say that I could have, if they had said we've had an oven fire and we've had to just get in pizza.
It would have been perfect. It would have been absolutely
It would have
perfect.
had to have been a near catastrophic fire for me to accept anything less than a turkey. The Hubs and I were saying on the way home that, you know, part of Thanksgiving is the indulgence, and the indulgence comes from a lot of the food you wouldn't normally cook for yourself, even though Daniel, we know from a couple of weeks back, just wanted the green bean casserole.
And made it.
And it was great. But no, it is a indulgence thing, and we had a lovely time. They run restaurants, they cook professionally, so the food was absolutely divine. We think that everyone got told that to bring a dessert, and there was plenty of. 2 weren't even opened, but 4 were.
I mean, it was diabetes central.
It was diabetes central. And then we sat there. They were halfway through decorating their house. Ironically, it was more decorated at that point than most bland white box apartments ever will see in DC.
But it was tastefully done.
But there was still more coming. So we were still surrounded by all those container boxes, which was brilliant. And they're going, no, we have too much. We're not going to eat all of this. And the Hubs is there going, well, I'll come with you to your storage tomorrow and take stuff.
I'll take some.
They love a decorative pillow. And
I noticed that. And he was like, oh, and take this one and this one. And I was like, how many decorative pillows are that? And they were all unique and different.
They're all out. You know, the ones up there, the full ones. They're all theirs.
Oh.
And you know those, recognise the gold container on top of the fridge?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That's at least 2 or 3 we've got. We've got one full of blankets up there for outside. All those blankets are theirs.
Oh. I was wondering where you got the blankets. I thought you got them from Alex and Sarah.
No, one of them, the blankets was one the Hubs saw.
Okay, so I wasn't going crazy on that one. I was like, I thought Alex and Sarah were one of them.
But they had moved from a bigger house, and they are now in DC. But it's still anyways, it was gorgeous. We had a really nice time. We joked we were on the kiddie table.
We were.
It was me, you, the Hubs, and Doll, and we had a giggle.
Oh, but we were in this lovely little gallery space, just having a great conversation in time, honestly.
While trying to make sure that the biggest dog in the history of dogs, and we are not joking,
I thought it was an ottoman whenever I first walked in.
Yeah.
I thought it was like this really fluffy ottoman. I was like, oh, that's a choice.
No, that was the ass of a very big dog.
And then it moved, and I was like, oh, that's not an ottoman. I was like, that's a dog.
Like, if it had stood up while under the table, it would have taken the table and just carried it.
Would have done that.
Like, Bug
Very sweet.
Bug will take his blanket. That's cute, but he would have taken the table like a dog with a blanket.
Oh, absolutely. Like, he would have knocked everything over, but it was also, we had the Bernies that were like running around.
So many.
So sweet. And then I felt so bad for the other dog that was nervous around people. And
he was hiding under the piano because they tinkled on the ivories towards the end.
Yeah, yes, it was everything you wanted.
Because I didn't realize you hadn't properly met them. It was more of an in passing thing.
You know, I've only met them in passing like once or twice, and it was typically like having to run roughshod against someone else. So
yeah, usually at partying out there. But they're such lovely hosts, and it was so funny But no, we definitely. And then I have to say, you must have had a good time. At one point, I did think Daniel must be enjoying himself because I think it was about 8:30, and usually you're kind of, when you're like, you leave before it disappears into that when are we going to leave sort of period. But then actually I said to the husband, like, it got to about 9. And I think we're going to try and watch a movie, and we're like, and also I was just a bit like, you know, we felt bad because if we take Bug, we have to drive and that sort of thing. So I was like, I feel a bit bad about that. And we all went together, and I think they seemed like, oh, everyone's going. There's no one going to do like the like that. It's time to go.
You must leave.
And then they go, there's sandwich bags in the kitchen. Please take stuff. So I got a bag of stuffing and a bag of meat. Like the turkey and the ham.
Oh, the ham was
And then
so
I got
good.
my tray of the onion gratin with some green bean casserole, and we had half of the noodles in the fridge as well.
The onion gratin this morning was great for breakfast.
Yeah, it's just cheese and onion, but complaining about it.
I'm not complaining about it. It was so good.
Gillian Anderson's favourite.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, especially. But they do it with the little the frozen onions, but I didn't want to go down to Giant for those bullshit, so I just did it with a bag of red onion.
Yeah,
and it's sweeter, but I think it
was good. It was really good with the sherry.
Yeah. Aside from that, Daniel, how was your very short week?
My very short week. Let's see. What did we do? Getting my notes out. Well, my Christmas trees are all up. My apartment is decorated for the holidays. All 5 trees are up, including the 3 share trees, which are just these wonderful trees that you just pull up, and they're like the tinsel, and they've got a little bit of sparkle to them. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect for the apartment. Went back to the Smithsonian Institutes last weekend because they're now open again.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, give them some time to, get the employees back on their feet and, get everything up. I have some very bad news for you if you're going to the Portrait Gallery or the American Art Museum in Chinatown anytime soon.
Oh, no, what?
Half of the museum is closed for an exhibit that is coming in the middle of summer of next year.
Is it a good exhibit then?
I have no clue, but it was just like I kept turning the corner and they're like, this portion of the museum is closed until May of 2026.
I prefer the Museum of Art, to be honest.
Yeah, so it was one of these, I had to go around, loop back down, go back up, and it was just like you turn another corner, this portion of the museum is closed. And I was like, son of a bitch. Like, it was just, I was like, I just wanted to stroll through the galleries and they're just all closed right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what time off I've got over Christmas. But I would, probably go for one day. But that's good to know. I mean, I don't. If Mum had been here, we would have gone. Probably, we might have popped in to use the loo and then gone to the market.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that one later.
Oh yay!
It's actually a good thing that I want to bitch about.
Yay!
I know. What else? PSA, listeners, if you can go get your COVID shots, go get your COVID shots.
Yes.
I was able to get mine this past week because my doctor's office was like, we now have COVID shots if you'd like to get one. And it's like, I would love to have one. So please go get one.
Wonderful.
Yes. Also a little funny thing that happened with work this week, with it being a short week. We were notified that there are tickets to go see the Christmas decorations at the White House this week, and that there are 2 different times, and I said, absolutely to the hell no, am I going?
But it's what... I guess they're just going to do the rooms, aren't they?
Just going to do the rooms. You're going to have to go in and out of the front door, which is not what it was designed for. I know that sounds weird to say that, listeners,
No,
but there's a security thing. And I'm just like, this is a nightmare.
The only thing I feel really bad about, aside from the history, is that last year when Daniel was very generously and sorted out for my parents to go, and I went,
we got really lucky. Yes.
Was that at the time you got free tickets plus yours. So, and the Hubs was like, well, he goes in and out of there, and so he was like, fine. He felt a bit meh, big, but because we knew it was saying goodbye because of the election had already been and gone,
right?
And so we went in. My parents had a wonderful time, and we all did. But the Hubs had been like, well, I know that we're not going to go in for a couple of years, but I'll still see it, etc., etc. And then after what happened recently, not going to go into that. The Hubs then he felt, oh my God, I do wish I'd somehow managed to find a way in, because it would have been nice to say goodbye, because we actually, Mum and Dad were like, what's going on? And we sent them the photo that you took of the three of us, said, this is now gone. And it really that upset them, because it said everything we'd seen has been ripped down. I said, pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, so you're not going then?
I'm refusing to go.
Yeah,
it's my protest.
I will be really honest. Like I was disappointed in the past when I saw people who I don't talk to now because they are that sort of pick me bitch. But going, if they go, I'm there, I'd be like, really, you're supporting? Like after the destruction now, like, this is not appropriate.
Yeah, it was one of these, and I'm like, absolutely not. And the thing is, like, you can tell that the mood has changed within the agency, because normally you have one date and you have one chance to get the tickets, and you have to put in, a week in advance and hope that you can actually get it in by that point. And this time there are 2 opportunities, and it's literally up until the day before you can request these tickets. And I'm like, no one's going. Was
it busier? Like after, do you think there was more demand after the election because people were saying goodbye, or do you think that didn't really affect the demand across the 4 years of a?
I don't think it really impacted the demand so much. I will say there was tons of demand, like the last year that the Obamas were there, because I remember that year going there and it was just packed. Like you could not move. There were so many people. And then I went the first year of the current administration just to see what was going on, because we had been told like stuff had been going on and it wasn't being reported. So it was like trying to go to like get eyes on stuff to like see what was going on. And, there was like no one there at that point. And then I didn't go again. And then, I don't know. It was fairly well attended last year. But it wasn't like the Obama years. So
yeah.
I don't know.
It's just sad.
It's very sad.
That's all I can say, really.
Yeah, truly. Anyways, how was your week?
Well, it was fucking chaos, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was so worried about you.
Yeah. There was a breakdown at one point. It was something set me off. And yeah, so essentially, as you know, I'm working 2 jobs and they are both brilliant with each other. Again, I am not cheating on anyone. They are both aware that I have 2 jobs. I'm making it work between the 2. One of them is very much in-house. The other one is, the other 2 days plus flexible hours. I'm trying. It's working. Let's see what's going on. It's why I'm working on Good Friday, Black Friday,
right, yeah.
And probably a bit across the weekend, but that's just how life is, and we all want to make good impressions. But so sadly Tuesday, we wake up to a message. My mum was meant to be flying in that evening. Her flight got delayed by 3 hours, luckily before she left the house with my dad, so we were like, thank goodness for small mercies. She can stay at home and then go in. Then get a message, hey, I'm in security, blah 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 blah, going for security, I'm in duty free. Excellent. Then a message, I meant to have my last check-in in the week with my person. I get a message and she was great. I won't say your name, but I messaged and she goes, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, my mum's flight just got cancelled." And I'm like, and I knew them. I knew that and now my mum, I'm sorry mum, if I'm giving too much information. She had a minor stroke a couple of years back, and they found some conditions. She's in very good health. It's just, but I think it threw her confidence a little bit. And so my mum especially does not like window seats. She wants to be able to get up, walk about, and I think it's very understandable. And they've got the extra leg room. They don't go first or business, but they get this economy plus or whatever it is now. and they couldn't. So for the next day, they couldn't book on a decent seat. So my mum cancelled, and it did upset me. Hubs was really trying to get me to vocalise it, and eventually something was said, and I did snap, and it shook him up a little bit. It wasn't aimed at him, but it was not. I think he hadn't seen me just get that. And again, I was reacting to something else, but a lot of stuff, and I was very tired, and it was like, oh my God. So yeah, that's been a bit tough. So planes, trains, and mother-in-laws, oh my. And of course, it's thrown this weekend because, and then I hate my headspace going to this, is that I'm preparing a video for one of the organisations. It's just a bunch of photos. They're like playing a sandbox. I'm like, I have no idea why. What is your sandbox? What colour sand do you like and what you don't like, sort of thing.
What music is playing in the sandbox?
So I'm putting together. Got some feedback. It's positive, negative, sort of. It was positive movement forward, but still work to do. Then we had another bit to do for them. So Wednesday, kind of, it got later. And then the other organisation needed something last minute. And so I left work only at 2 hours early, by end. The hubs was like, let's go and get a drink at the dog park because it was very warm on Tuesday.
Yeah.
No, Wednesday.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So we took the dog and we sat for a bit, and then of course I got a message, hey Max, could you actually do this quick video? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I got back and I do all the cooking, and that's when I said, and he was like, look, we don't have to do all this cooking for the side dishes. And I'm like, I need to, because it doesn't feel like Thanksgiving at all, and we really didn't feel like it. So yeah, it was. And then so between all that, but yeah, it was, man. And so now, like today, I got up and I worked, and I was like, well, I do love video making, so it's not really it, but it kind of through the weekend. And then at the same time, I'm looking at all that I can get done now that my mum's not here, and I'm like, oh, this actually, maybe it worked out for the better. And then I'm like, no, your mum's like, the thing that gutted me the most was we were going to take mum out on Monday for her 70th birthday, which is not until January. But and I was like, we had always plans for her to go to Ted's Bulletin today. I had always little plans for her. So it was very, but we get through it. I'm going to focus on what I can control, focus on work, and then we're going to work out what happens next year. But no, apart from that, then on the weekend I did my final marathon of the year.
Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you. So I somehow managed to do it in only 2 minutes quicker, 2 minutes slower than last time. So 3 hours 46 minutes.
And it's still a sub 4.
No, it's still a sub 4. Well, it wasn't meant to be that. The idea was my body was going to be achy and shitty, and I was going to be like, yay, I actually just was able to do one. No, it turns out I'm just that freak now. But Alex and Sarah looked after us, but it did. Philly, I'm going to be really blunt. It was too busy. It was like navigating through people. Mark came to cheer me on. He said, you look real pissed by the end of it. And not in a, oh my God, I'm so angry at the fact I've just run 26 miles. You look angry at people.
Yeah.
But we had a really nice time. We were only there for one night. But it was a good marathon. But like we knew it was going to be cooler. I had layers upon layers. So you can see videos of me progressively taking layers off.
Yeah, the hub's in a few videos. Yeah.
But the weather never... It suddenly, like about 9 o'clock, it just got real cloudy, and I was like, "It's not meant to rain," and it didn't. But it
looked like it could.
Yeah, it didn't do what it said it was going to do. It was a bit doomy, gloomy. But so it's done now. And I got left it. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done.
No more marathons for this year.
No, but what I would love to do is go for a wander around Ina's garden.
Yes. So we are having some hot chocolate this evening, or today.
I love the skin.
So I put a little bit of a bar of a dark chocolate in there, so
it's delicious.
Good. It's not going to be like the eating hot chocolate, that's so thick that you just put a spoon on it and eat it. But I like to have a little bit of chocolate, like fresh chocolate in there.
I've never tried that one, that real thick. Well, it's just pretty much chocolate fondue.
Basically, like you have to have like a biscotti or something to like eat it, which is fine.
What's that one they do in France? It's like they get the bread, don't they? The sweeter bread, and they dip it in the hot. They do it for breakfast, don't they?
Yeah. The pain au chocolat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The real one, not the chocolate croissant, which people think is pain au chocolat.
Right. But no, we just a little bit of chocolate in there so it actually, has some texture to it. But
well, it's delicious. What else is delicious, Daniel? We'll be the news this week.
Oh, yes. This is the portion of the podcast where we talk about things that are gay adjacent, or just a little bit camp.
Very weird news week. Lots of news.
Lots of news, but then also not a lot of news, if that makes sense.
So, after being announced as the sexiest man alive, Jonathan Bailey is the highest grossing actor of this year.
Yay!
So how it's done is it's based on the films they've been in, and I'm guessing the billing. And there could be a lucky extra that is, in all of them. But between Jurassic Park Rebirth and Wicked for Good, Jonathan is the highest grossing actor. But for the first time in the modern era, an openly gay male is his highest grossing.
Yes, congratulations.
So, yes, he has done incredibly well. So, his films have made a total of 1.09 billion. Oh, sorry, I farted. I farted with excitement.
Sorry.
Celia Emery.
Ooh.
No, that's so.
Squee.
But good for him. He's doing very well.
He deserves his kudos.
Now, we will talk about Wicked later.
Yeah, we will.
Have you listened to the soundtrack yet?
I have listened to the soundtrack. I still have thoughts about Wicked Witch of the East, what they did to that. But
is anything you missed off this soundtrack?
Is this a trick question?
No. Is there anything you felt there was? I mean, the last song on it's For Good, but that's not the last song of the movie.
No, that's not the last song of the movie. It's sort of that medley number.
The reprise.
Yeah.
Now, I was a bit like, where is it?
Uh-huh.
Apparently, it is going to be on the Ska album.
Oh,
that's where they've discovered it, which is very weird because I think that's not just like an incidental; it's a very intentional.
I was just say that's an intentional choice to put it there.
Yeah, so I'm a bit disappointed they've not gone for that complete, and whether or not at any point they're going to do. So I also wonder because on part one, the soundtrack, it's the Ozdust duet. Is separate to Dancing Through Life,
right?
And I wonder whether or not they are going to do a complete soundtrack at any point.
I could see them doing
that. But I do
that.
think the For Good reprise needs to be on the main one. I'm a bit like, why we no?
Yeah, it needs to be there.
Yeah. Well, talking of amazing women, and obviously a Wizard of Oz. The lovely Jinx Monsoon is going to head to the end of the rainbow.
She is indeed.
She's going to reprise it in London. The end of the rainbow. It became the movie Judy, I believe, the Renée Zellweger, which I might watch this weekend. I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it either. I've heard good things about it.
So I saw it with Tracy Bennett in Off West End. Actually, Trafalgar Studios did it, and it's stunning. And then she transferred over to Broadway, and I don't know whether or not she got the Tony. But it's set during her final gigs, big concert she did in the London Palladium, and her life was just spiralling at this point.
Yeah.
And no, it's not. It's a play with music. So how it's done is that you see it, and then I think like the first half an hour is just her, and it's a play. There's two other actors on stage, and then she just goes 5, 6, 7, 8, and the splits, and the band comes out, and it intercuts with the performance in these performances, and how they do Over the Rainbow is so beautifully done. Everyone was in tears, and how they, because by that point she's died, and you're meant to be seeing it real. So spoiler alert, if you're cutting ahead 2 minutes, is they have and it goes dark, and then they have a radio announcer go announcing today the sad death of Judy Garland, and here is her number one hit, Over the Rainbow. And then she's on, and it lights up, and she's on the stage on a stall and she sings it that way,
Ah.
and it's how they allow it to stay within the chronology of it all, and and it was really, and by that point we were just absolutely, you'd watch this woman spiral, but at the same time try and maintain it just for that. And then of course it couldn't be a Judy Garland show. She takes a bow and she goes, "Who wants another one?" You know, and everyone by that point was like, "Yeah." And she does like a little short medley. The soundtrack album for that, I think you can find it online.
Okay.
I would highly recommend, because Tracy Bennett does an amazing job. They actually do the Tracy Bennett covers, and she goes, "Who wants another one?" And that's what Judy would have done.
Oh, she would have.
Yeah, but no, I would love to see Jinx. I'm curious to see whether or not Jinx will do. She'll do.
Yeah.
She can do the voice, and I think she can mimic, but there is a nuance. This is going to test Jinx's acting.
Oh, absolutely. And depending on which direction she takes it completely, whew.
Yeah. Well, anyway, talking of that, my next news is one we decided to share.
It is something that we shared because I squealed whenever I read it.
And I then later sent Daniel a message going, "You're not ready for this."
And I was like, "Oh no, what is it?"
And then it turned out he did know, but he wasn't ready still.
I still wasn't ready.
So should we try and say it together?
No, we shouldn't. We're not that coordinated.
Ava Green is going to be playing Aunt Ophelia in season 3 of Wednesday.
Yes. Now this is very important because it does end the rumors that Gaga was going to be doing a double billing for the show.
I like Gaga as the quirky side character.
Yeah.
I think she did just what she needed to do for that. I know that her music spontaneously managed to fit with some dancing.
Shocking.
I really do. I'm a huge Gaga fan.
Oh yeah.
But Ava Green as Aunt Ophelia, it's like, come on now.
I mean, it's absolutely perfect because she is that darker character, thinking of Vanessa from Penny Dreadful.
Miss Peregrine.
Absolutely. I also had that on my list. She also did Morgana.
Yes, and I've only seen bits of it. She played the witch in the Golden Compass movie, but
literally everything I had written down here.
But she's beautiful. She's stunning. It makes to say. There's not much to say because it says it all who she is, you know. And I am excited. I hope that her and Catherine Zeta get plenty to get their teeth into. Joanna, there's just enough going on there. I'm hoping. I think my issue slightly of Wednesday is that the Addams Family was very gothic and very. It was gothic in the sense of how the fantasy was all down to perception, whereas Wednesday has said no, there is some level, there are like mystical monsters out there and stuff. And I get that. The psychic side of things, I actually do. I do believe that, you know, that would be within the realms of the original Addams Family.
Yes,
but you know, the werewolves and the hides and all that is definitely puts it in a different universe.
Yeah.
So. I'm hoping this will ground this series slightly more this season. Yeah,
I have big expectations for season 3 with her joining the cast. We'll put it that way. I want her to have a delicious role, as only she can have.
Yeah, please don't squander, because that's the first thing people are going to notice.
Yeah, because she's a talent. She commands the screen when she's on there.
Well, Daniel, you telling me you have big expectations is not news, but what is your news?
Well, news for me this week. So congratulations from the European Court of Justice, where they announced that EU members must recognize same-sex marriages conducted in other states. This is specifically directed towards Poland, which does not recognize or accept unions at this time. However, this lawsuit was brought about because several couples were married in Germany and their unions were not recognized. EU is now saying, no, not so fast. You got to do it. So, congrats to us on that in a roundabout way.
Congratulations.
Yes. Now, that being said, Poland does not have to issue same-sex marriages, but they do, a marriage is a marriage. So, let's see. A little bit of Wicked news that I have to tide us over until we have more Wicked discussion is on the heels of the success of Wicked, author Gregory Maguire has announced that a prequel book, Galinda, A Charmed Life, is set to come out in 2026. It will be a companion to Elfie, A Childhood. The plot, however, has not been shared at this time, but we're expecting the backstory of Galinda becoming who she is, essentially. And let's see. Well, would you like some share news?
Yes, share some share.
I will share some share. So she is turning back time and is in talks with Netflix to make a 7-part docuseries called Sharing Her Story. It's set to come out at the same time as her memoir, which is part 2 of her memoir, is set to debut in 2026 in the fall. It will focus on the 1980s onwards. So,
that's a very interesting time for her.
Very interesting time because it's, post Sunny and her revival and her film career. So we'll see. We'll see what happens on that one. And a little bit of interesting DC news. It's a little bit of a debate, potentially.
I know this one because the Hubs is linked with it.
I know, and so we can dance around this however we need to. We'll put it that way. So Spark Social, a queer third space here in DC, is how I would categorize it, which opened this past year as a non-alcoholic bar, has announced that they have shut down for a 2-week period, and they are set to reopen December 5th, where they will have alcohol now. They are not changing their menu, but the model is going to be that there's going to be 2 forms of each drink that they serve, to where they'll have a non-alcoholic and an alcoholic version. They will start serving alcohol at 3 p.m. and they'll close at 11 on their cells. They'll keep their normal hours, so there'll be a coffee shop third space up until that 3 p.m. hour, and then gravitate more towards a bar after that time frame. So, you and I are 2 people who aren't really drinking, and we have been to Spark on a couple of occasions. How do you feel about this?
I mean, it's typical DC shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's basically, this city's trash and for that sort of thing. Now, I get it. It's expensive to run a bar and you need to create more options. They need a bigger audience, and non-alcoholic hasn't done it, right? I get that. Mm-hmm. I am not gagging. I as a non-drinker, mm-hmm. I still haven't decided, again, with drinking at the moment. My workload, I spent yesterday not drinking. I had quite a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my workload at the moment, I can't do a muzzy head in the morning, to be very fucking simple on that one. Mm-hmm. But I don't also, I go out of the Hubs. I go out of groups of people. I know that I have to get out. If I'm with the right people, I'm great. I don't gag for a bar. I don't sit there. That we've already joked about it. The Hubs is away this weekend. I'm going to go to the cinema on Saturday, come home afterwards and chill. I'm not going to go. There's no one's going to get a text blast from me going, "What's everyone up to?"
Right. What's everyone doing today?
So I don't need a bar. I like going with you, but I felt we went to have a look at it.
Yeah.
But I didn't honestly feel the need to go with you in the sense of, oh, let's go get a drink with Daniel. Honestly, if anything, I would probably go more to Pop and, and get because they do good nibbly bits as well. Mm-hmm. If you said, let's go home with me and you need to get the hell out of the house, but let's just go to Pop.
We'd get a Pop in a heartbeat.
But I get I get it. I said DC's expensive. I'm guessing they want to broaden their horizons. But the point of that place was there wasn't going to be alcohol in there.
Exactly. That's my hang up, is they sold themselves on it's a queer space and you don't have the pressure of alcohol.
But it's also not that. People on alcohol are boring.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. It's like
slurred conversation.
The same fucking repetitive conversation. Jokes that aren't funny. It's it's really tough. And I'm just a little bit. I do understand they want to survive, and maybe this is the only way they could. I think 3 o'clock's too early to start serving alcohol.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry, but you're not giving, because the point of this bar was a happy hour. A place you could get a happy hour without people around drinking.
Yeah.
So again, it's just don't act like you're a fucking amazing bar with non-alcoholic options.
Yeah.
You're just a bar now that has a couple of non-alcoholic beers, de-alcoholized beers. Mm-hmm. Great, good for you. But you're not going to make any fucking money still because you have limited space.
Yeah.
And honestly, I liked it. I took Lovely Frida there. I said, we should try. I'm not drinking at the moment. I said, but there's a really nice bar, like non-alcoholic bar. Mm-hmm. She got a non-alcoholic wine because I took her one for her birthday as well, and she had a really, and she really appreciated that. And she said, because I do fancy a glass of wine occasionally, I just don't want the head. I said, here's a non-alcoholic, and I think it's one that you had recommended, and it was all through. She liked this place, she liked the energy. I just don't, I'm just a little bit, it kind of makes me hate the city, because I'm just like, can nothing in the city ever stick to its original intention?
Right. I mean, you know, you've gone back on what you stood for. So you don't stand for it, you know.
I always thought Spark was linked with Crush.
I thought that for a while too, but I wasn't so sure.
I thought the point was that Crush was going to make the money and help
support
Spark.
Maybe.
But then Crush must be fucked, because now Crush has got, you know, you've now on the same block, you've got Spark, Crush, Rush, Bunker, and
the
Eagle, and
what's the other one?
Revolt. Revolt's the one that's having a spat with Bunker.
Right.
Yeah, I said it. It's on his social media.
Oh, yeah.
Then there's Rush and Crash, Eagle.
Yeah. I mean, they're all right there in that one block.
And I know, don't get me wrong, I know if anyone's listening to this and you live in a one gay bar town, I know we're spoilt for choice.
We are.
But they're spoilt bars.
Yeah. The grass is not always greener.
Anyway. Yeah, no, I'm a bit... How do you feel about the...
I mean, here's the thing. I liked having the option of going to a place for non-alcoholic drink. In fact, I had recommended it for a couple of... During that 5-month period where I was, like, strictly sober. Like, when I was going on a date, I'm like, I can go here... Yeah. And we can have a drink, and it's not going to be an issue because it's non-alcoholic. Like, it was a good option.
Yeah.
And now I'm just sort of like, okay, well, it's still sort of there, but not really. And again, I feel like you're not keeping what you started out for. And there's not a good reason why you're not doing it.
I think honestly,
other than money, but which then just pisses me off.
But also, kind of what pissed me off a little bit in there though was that I don't drink non-alcoholic or de-alcoholized stuff anymore. Mm-hmm. I just don't. I spent most of yesterday drinking tonic water and cranberry.
Right. It was really good.
If you offer me a hot drink though, I do love a cup of tea. So I went into Crush, not Crush, Spark. And I said, can I get a coffee? And they charged me $5 for a cup of coffee. Ugh. And it's not even like a one. No. It's like they have a fucking like a fucking coffee filter.
Yeah.
I'm like, so that's one cup. There's not like a, hey, just this is unlimited. Mm-hmm. You know, so I paid $5 for
mediocre
20 cents worth of grounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and it's like, I get you have to make money, but a lukewarm cup of fucking coffee, it was not piping hot. It wasn't a big fucking mug. It was a waste of money in there.
And then you're just pissed.
And then I'm just pissed, and not in a fun way. Anyway, Daniel, time is ticking, so yes, I think we shall go for a quick break and then come back.
Yes.
And we're back. That may be news for us, but what's been culture for you, Daniel?
Culture for me this week. So, food of the week. I'm not going to wax poetic about Thanksgiving food. It was a lovely, wonderful meal yesterday. I will say your onion gratin.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Even the next day. But my food of the week. I said I didn't want to have Thanksgiving food during this week. So I was having very grown-up grilled cheese sandwiches. And by that, I mean there was bacon, there were pears, and there was smoked Gouda on top of a sourdough. It was fantastic.
Yay.
So if you need a little something, make one of those. Drink of the week, I had some really good eggnog, non-alcoholic from Whole Foods. Just, they're seasonal, like back in the corner, just grabbed some, and I was just like, it hit the spot.
Nice.
Felt like Christmas was coming. Songs of the week, started listening to Christmas music with words, so Cool You by Louis Armstrong. For some reason, that one always puts me in the spirit. It just does. And then Elizabeth Taylor by Taylor Swift. It just came back on this week, and loved it. Let's see. I have an exhibit recommendation for you.
Nice.
So I did go back to the Smithsonian Art Museum. I also went to the National Gallery. National Gallery has a really good art exhibit called Photography in the Black Arts Movement. It is looking at the technique and the use of photography as protests from the 1950s onwards. It is phenomenal. So if you have time in December and you wander down there, I highly recommend that one.
Wonderful.
I also have a little bit of a shock, surprise, a bit of a serendipitous moment. I went to the downtown holiday market in front of the American Art Museum. They have stepped up their game. And they have stepped up their game in a huge way. And that they have most of their food all in this central portion of...
Yeah.
And they've got seats. They have stepped up the options to where I was like, I want to have lunch here. Where, like, it was really, like, I was impressed.
Yeah, because last time it was just a lot of hot chocolate.
Not a lot of hot chocolate. I think there was one hot chocolate thing the entire spot. There was German food. There was Asian food. It was phenomenal, the selections. And the type of vendors that they had have also stepped up to.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, there's some that it's just like a little bit questionable. It's like why you're buying it. But like someone has intentionally gone through there and curated the experience. It was nice. It was genuinely nice. So whenever your mom was like, I'm not coming, I was just like, no, because this one is actually a good one to go to.
Yeah, last time we went, it was very like you go just to walk down and say you've done a German market sort of thing.
Right. This time I was sitting here and I was like, do I actually need to buy a few gifts here? Like, that's where I was at. And I was just like, I was tempted. I was very tempted. So, highly recommending it if you have the chance to go. So, if you need a break, go wander down there this weekend.
I might.
Anyways, what was culture for you this week?
Well, food, yeah. So we did the onion gratin for Thanksgiving dinner. And the food was just delicious. Mm-hmm. I did the noodles for the hubs. We were looking at different recipes for it again, and we found milk for the noodles, and that actually came up really nice. Mm-hmm. So we're going to try something a bit different next time in that it's putting the noodles through a strainer and creating more circular noodles, like a... Yeah, we're not sure how we're going to do that.
What if you use like a mashed potato masher?
Yeah, it's going to be because it's very like the recipe creates very liquidy dough. It's not a thick because if anyone's made pasta, it comes out really. It's heavy. It's a really solid dough. It's a lot of work.
It's sort of dumpling like.
Yeah, whereas this one is different. So we're going to try it and see about. I might do a test run. Well, I probably will do a test run and seeing and buying like a thicker, like a strainer, because that we got quite a small one. It's like more circular and seeing what we can put through it. But we shall see. So that all came out well, and the cheesecake was very last minute. But cheesecake, good. Apart from that, I ended up shouting at the husband because he saw the crust and he went to go. I said, "Do not fucking touch it," because you have to pile it and pray. Music. Cynthia Revo, Every Time You Go Away, for the John Candy documentary, and Orville Peck, Maybe This Time, as a country.
Oh, yes. Yes, I have listened to that one.
Starting a Christmas music as well. We haven't played any in the house, but there was some played yesterday, so it's starting to come. TV, been watching DMV. It's the new sort of Office Place sitcom.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good. I think the first 6 episodes have been your very standard... Setting it up, very standard storylines, but everyone seems really, the cast is excellent, just the writing should kind of hopefully improve, but I think there's a lot of them at the moment.
Who is like the main role on this one?
Molly Kearney plays the boss, who was in SNL a couple of years back. They were excellent. They're very Melissa McCarthy, and Tim Meadows is one. He's great. Everyone else I know and looks familiar, but it's still very newbie cast. And then we watched, I don't know if it's a movie or if it's a TV show, but we watched the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special last night.
It's whatever you want it to be.
I've never seen it because they're not. I think maybe they're shown. I think probably now they're probably more shown with a lot of, like, so for instance, we have Channel 5, which is the 5th terrestrial channel. Now on a Saturday, apparently it just around Christmas clears its scheduling and shows Hallmark movies. And they found that actually that gets their best audience is just putting them on till 5 p.m. and everyone just picks up. And so I don't know whether or not now that stuff like the Thanksgiving one is being shown, but we don't tend to
watch it.
But and actually a lot of the Rankin Bass ones now are all. I might see Santa Claus is Coming to Town this year because I've never seen that, because it's never been available for free. It's always, but a couple of them are.
You should do that.
Yeah, but Charlie Brown, Peppermint Patty's such a fucking gaslighter. Hey Chuck, I'm coming to yours. Chuck, she has Chuck a lot as well.
It's sort of her thing.
But it's just like she fucking invites herself round.
Yeah.
Though I took that as her dad basically. She says, my dad's out of town, so her mum's not about. Her dad has no idea how to raise a girl, and just presumes she's going to look after herself.
Yeah.
So she invites herself round, and I was like, what is going to be the theme of this one? Mm-hmm. And he puts on this whole like spread, but it's just popcorn and toast.
Right.
And she's like, hey Chuck, where's a turkey, Chuck? Where's a... And then Marcy calls her shit. Even though I thought Marcy was sub, but she apparently is like sub-dom. And it's like, I think he put in a lot of work, sir. And I'm like, you're right. You really should stand up to your sir occasionally, because boundaries are important.
Right.
And it all gets rectified. And then when Charlie Brown he takes all the burden on himself, but he learns that when he shares the burden and lets his grandma know the pressure he's under, she then invites everyone over, and it's very sweet.
It is,
especially because you presume grandma's like 90, but you're kind of presuming actually I think grandma might possibly be like my age.
Probably, she could be. Who's to say?
And it was also like 1974 it came out, and Franklin's there, he's a gentleman of colour, and I was like, yeah, my friend Franklin. I'm like, bitch, you would have had to warn grandma at this age. I'm not saying you need to be warned, but I'm pretty sure like grandma would have had a conniption.
Grandma might be like, what is happening?
But no, it was very sweet. Then movies, will go into our shared movie in a bit, but I did go and see. So I had this whole message with Daniel about, do I go and see a movie this week? Do I have time? And eventually there was a movie I really wanted to see, and it's already on Netflix. All the movies this year are already on Netflix. I think Landmark, I have a feeling, has a deal with Netflix, and it's one of their like public viewing ones to get it on the Oscars. Train Dreams. Saw the trailer and was just like, I would like to see. I don't know, something about the sound in the trailer. It was very evocative of like the early indie films I used to watch, and I was like, I really would like to see this at the cinema, but it's hard to justify.
Yeah.
And then this new one out is Jay Kelly, which is the one of George Clooney. But again, that's like, I'm sure it's gonna be good, but I'll see it next week, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really want to see Train Dreams. And then I could go and see Eternity at Alamo. I was like, no, go and see. You want to see this fucking movie? Go and see this fucking movie.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. And it was so well done. It's Joel. I think he's going to be up. I think he's going to be an Oscar a contender. I think he really is up there for it. It's so well done. It's got like some like Wes Anderson sort of vibe, like camera work, but done really well.
And not saturated.
Not saturated, not quirky, but he holds a shot, and it's sad, and it's just, and how it works, and I'm sorry if this doesn't give it away, but he flashes, it's him telling his story. His story's being told, and there's a narrator, and they talk about he's involved in the building of a bridge around the start of the Great War, and it says later on it will be turned down and replaced with concrete and steel, and it cuts to him on a train and seeing it, the new version of the bridge. And for me, what was so beautiful about that was it put into perspective the American story, in that this man, lived with his wife and child in a beautiful I don't want to say not a hut. What do you get in the mountains? Cabin.
I was going to be like cabin.
A beautiful cabin. They had everything. They everything, and he went away. He worked with the woods. He worked on the railways, and he witnesses like the attacks on the Chinese community and that sort of thing. And then, but he also witnessed the modern age of the 60s. I think they do say when he does die. That's not a spoiler, he's human, he does die.
What?
And his own life and that, and you start to realize, and for me, when you think of the 50s and 60s America, especially 50s, the Leave It to Beaver era, the Happy Days, was the people that, the granddad who's there telling words of wisdom in the sitcoms, in the reality would have been living in a cabin, not because they had a weekend home, but because they lived in a cabin.
Yes.
And it put into perspective how so much happened. And I don't want to justify poor attitudes, negative attitudes, but this country is still so young that it needs to be stretched out a bit more. And you can understand why people are like they are, because our parents would have been raised by people that were still building the railroads.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And that's why I think this film is going to hit, is it captures the small cog in the American story and how small it actually is in a story, and it's beautiful, and as a beautiful song at the end, which I think should be again up for. I've got to check it out, but I think Oscar contention. But definitely, and then we saw Doyle yesterday at Thanksgiving, and he said he'd seen it, and he said, I saw it on Netflix, I enjoyed it, but I got the impression I would have really liked it in the cinema.
Yeah.
Don't even. I just went, I knew it. It just has to be one. So try and see it. I would suggest, if you are going to watch it, turn the lights out, turn your phone over, but you have to watch it. It does not hand it to you. You have to find the movie.
Fair.
Talking of movies, though, that are a little bit more generous in what they give.
Yes.
We're going to do 5 minutes on Wicked for Good.
5 minutes on Wicked for Good.
I have a couple of bits of culture regarding Thanksgiving parade, but we'll do that very quickly. You're in mixed views of Wicked for Good.
I am of mixed views for Wicked for Good. I am going to be very blunt. I said this in a certain group chat of ours, and I said it to you to your face, and got shushed by Jeremiah yesterday for saying it, that I liked Wicked for Good.
Yeah.
I didn't love Wicked for Good. I liked Wicked for Good. And that the difference is, whenever we saw Wicked last year at this same time, we went as a group, and then 2 days later, I was back in the theater watching it for a second time. Here we are a week out from Wicked for Good, and I have not gone back to the theater to rewatch it, and I don't have plans of going back to the theater to see it again this weekend. It's one of these, I don't feel like there is more for me to explore. There's more that I wanted to go see again. Like, I saw the story.
Yeah.
That being said, I liked it. It was necessary. It was needed. I do agree that your statements that you made yesterday about the world building, I absolutely agree with them. Like, there was a lot of effort that was put into them.
So here's the question. It gets asked a lot to film fans. Was it a bad movie?
I don't think it was a bad movie.
Right.
I think that some of the issues that I had with the film were that, here's the thing. I know that Act 2 in Wicked is the weaker of the two acts. Totally get that. But some of the editing drove me absolutely crazy on this one. And it's one of these that I went back and rewatched Wicked to make sure that I wasn't going crazy this week. In the first film, they would allow you to sit with a scene for a little bit. And there wasn't this constant jumping around from this character to that character.
It was very fast-paced.
Yes. It was very fast-paced, the second film. And I was just like, oh, if we could have just sat with this for just, like, a half a minute more, I would feel like I didn't have whiplash. Like, that was one of my critiques, was that. And I hate what they did to Wicked Witch of the East, because in the musical, it was one scene. They broke it up into two, and I don't think it helped. I do not think it helped. Like, and it just drove me a little bit crazy with that.
Yeah.
It would have been stronger as one. Now, that being said, I know you loved it. So
I don't remember. So the movie I love, but I'm also... Fantasy is a weird one for me, because sci-fi is my thing. Fantasy I do and don't like, because I think fantasy has less rules, whereas I think I like rules.
Yeah, you like there to be gravity in a situation.
That's why I'm a video editor, because I like it comes with
rules,
established rules. But with fantasy in this, and you know that I love Wizard of Oz, and I have been working on a project that fleshes out the world of Oz. Obviously, this is very different. This is Maguire's Oz, which is again has vastly different. It's yeah. But I loved it. I generally think that they did the best job, amazingly, that they could do. They smoothed out a lot more of, I think that for me the timeline was important to smooth out, and so when like March of the Witch Hunters happens, it makes more sense, because in the musical I get the you kind of get the vague impression that the Tin Man met them after and I don't know why I always got this impression was he went out to kill the witch, then got rusted, and that's when Dorothy found him.
I could see that.
And I think because of the way that you can manipulate camera angles, especially as well, is that in that scene in the show you do not see Dorothy or the Scarecrow, whereas you see them in the movie, but they are carefully
far away.
They are in the crowd scenes, they put people in front of them, so you know they're there. So when you do that bit, and also I thought the extra scene of Morrible going, you would, and again, I haven't seen the show, I've seen it 4 times, but I haven't seen it for 10 years, so there's certain things I can't quite remember the details, but there is no scene in the show, is there, of Morrible going, you should see these people. No. So that was actually, I think, one of the most crucial additions to it. It put in perspective everything. But no, overall, I really loved it. I love the integration of music with fantasy. I think they've done a fantastic job. It is a choppier one. I did listen to a podcast of the editor, and he was talking about, like, he actually cried during it because he said he got a chance to edit Star Wars and The Wizard of Oz in one go, and he loved that. But and actually, what they didn't have any time between the movies, so he said it took a long time to add in, and he was the editor was the one that requested the shot of the monkey picking up Dorothy. They do that. It's quite interesting what they do, but he said during this time as well, where the wildfires were happening, and he said so there was a lot of they were just exhausted, and I don't think that means that his work is sloppy at all. No, but I think it did move. I didn't realise how much jumping about actually occurs. The one thing that annoyed me was I did like Elphaba's new song, that they cut off the high note as part of the narrative. If you listen to the soundtrack, you get the full belt at the end. I don't always agree. I think they cut the song short, and I think they should have found a way of writing the song around the jump that occurs, but I think it lacked the high note. That's just me, because you knew it was coming. I didn't know the song, but I knew there was a high note coming, and then it just didn't really happen. The Hubs did not like Girl in the Bubble. I like that. I really like it. Yeah, and I think narratively, it's sudden, and I say it's suddenly, because ironically I'm going to mention the song Suddenly from Les Mis wasn't ever needed. Whereas this one, you had that moment, and I think it gives more depth to Glinda, and her storyline is so amazingly fleshed out by the end of it. I have so much respect for what they did actually with that. So I will probably see it again. I think that it did a fantastic. In my impression, I really liked it, but I think I loved it more as a fantasy world building fan. But I can understand, like, for the more musical perspective, it didn't. But I think this is the thing. But it was never what he did, down to the costumes and the set pieces, the performances, phenomenal, the script. But no, I agree that there are some films that are just excellent, but don't quite have the emotion. I think this one is going to be down to emotional resonance with people. Right. And don't get me wrong, I cried in the theater. And the door scene was just stunning. The door scene, I cried during that. And I'm not saying I wasn't moved by this film. I just wasn't moved in the same way, if that makes sense. Yeah. What was actually lovely, though, was that the Hubs had never seen the show, but because as he points out, it's not easy to get to New York City and stay the night and watch a show. It's fucking expensive. And the touring productions sell out in seconds. Yeah. Is that he didn't know she lived. Yeah. And it was really nice to get that. He goes, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Oh my god, that's so sweet." That like you feed.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Yeah. So no, but there's a really great. I just think he's done a phenomenal job. He's changed cinema and the perspective of it. You know, people are saying, and you know, there is those stories now of them wanting to do sequels. I usually want to say they need to leave Elphaba and Glinda alone.
Yes,
I think Ari can be in the background. She could be a bubble in the distance. But I can also wholeheartedly look at that film, and even though these are the same executives that look at the Kool-Aid Man and go, we can make a movie out of that.
Right.
I do not blame anyone watching John Hughes world building and not going, what else can we do here?
Right, because I think it's untapped.
Yeah.
Like, there are possibilities. It's untapped. I mean, if you know Oz, you know that there's more that you could go. And if you know Maguire, you know there's more that you could do.
And I do think that potentially is that, you know, I've not read the book Son of a Witch. I know, and I will. And actually, me and Jeremiah, and you were saying last night, it's about going back and actually reading them through again, which might be a plan for next year to really lock down. But interestingly, you know, I know that Lear, sorry for anyone last week, I never said it's Lear, doesn't appear. I think you could easily introduce him in a sequel coming in for the Impassable Desert.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got
there's
that
so
up.
much that you can do. There's very easy ways to introduce him. Should he have been in Wicked? Definitely not.
No, absolutely not.
But should he have been? But could they bring him in as the idea that he is drawn back, just randomly drawn back to Oz? Yes, they could.
Yeah, you absolutely could.
With that, Daniel, is an outing. Shall we move to the end of the episode?
Yes, we should.
Oh, actually, I was going to quickly say that this year, during the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, 2 companies, Maybelline and Google, are doing faux rom-com style adverts. Lacey Chabert and Dustin Mulligan's one is excellent. What's she concealing for Maybelline?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's good. And they do, you see a short, I mean, it's Lacey Chabert, so she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
You know what, can I just quickly say,
yeah,
good for you, girl. You know, you've really got nailed that one.
Yeah.
And then you can go online and watch the full bit. Obviously, it's a reunion of them, that terrible Snowman movie from last year, which really did never lend in enough to what the fuck it was doing.
It's all coming back to me.
But the Google ones have got like Nicole Byer. Check that one out.
Oh,
she's real fucking funny in her one. Nicole Byer Google advert.
You had me at Nicole Byer.
She delivers a final line. I will not say what it is, but the hubs had not heard it, and then she said something, and he pissed himself laughing.
Oh, I love this.
And Bob the Drag Queen does one as well.
Perfect.
Great. But no, so that was good. So that was just one thing I noticed, that there was 2 of them doing the same. The parade itself started as Cynthia representing Black queer excellence, doing Feeling Good. Absolutely fantastic.
I did watch that last night.
Jonathan Groff started his performance by dancing a Bowen Yang, and then the actual diversity was on full display. Obviously, they had like Beneficia Social Club, so lots of Spanish. But going back to Jonathan Groff quickly, he did the gayest thing possible, even more gay than Bowen Yang, in which he just said, "I haven't cooked, I've ordered in."
Good for him.
And with that, Daniel, let's now go to the end of the episode.
Oh, yes.
Do you have Gag and Goops?
I don't have a Gag and Goops. You?
Yes. So apparently there is 2 situations where the Christian faith is attacking pop culture at the moment. One school was banned, Christian school was banned K-pop demon hunters, even though they are hunting demons, to go figure. And another Christian influencer said she had to remove her children from Elphaba's sex cardigan party. The gagged and gooped of it all is they think that's actually going to affect the culture.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've moved on.
Yes.
You should too.
Yeah.
Daniel, do you have a word of the week?
I do have a word of the week. So the word of the week is inscrutable. It means impossible to understand.
Inscrutable. You have a Petticoat Lane, don't you?
I do have Petticoat Lane. Petticoat Lane, I previewed it yesterday. Dear Whole Foods.
Yes.
Your turkey meal for one was absolutely disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It was the worst $12 I've ever, or whatever it was. I think it was $12. It was the worst $12 I ever spent. I ran in on, I think it was Monday, to grab something, and I was just like, I'm going to pick this up. It was horrible.
I can't think why did... something had come up and I had some food. And I said to the hubs, do you want anything? And he goes, don't even think of cooking for me. I'm going to go grab it. And he comes back with it. And my husband has high standards. Good for him. That's why I'm amazing. He took a bite. He goes, this is really bad. And I'm like, oh my God, it's not that. And it was disgusting.
It was absolutely disgusting. It was horrible. I have never had more atrocious stuffing.
It tastes like Subway chicken.
Yes. And I'm like, this is supposed to be turkey. Like turkey has a very distinct flavor that's not chicken. And I'm like, why does this taste like? It was so bad. I don't know how they did it, but they ruined it. Like, it was not.
Oh, I remember what it was. It was because after the marathon, we went to this lovely, I can't remember the name of the bar. It's a lovely, like it's like Annie's, but in Philly. It's just really good food. And I got like a brunch pizza, and I had 2 slices. But after the race, I'm hungry, but not hungry. Like that. So I had it for dinner, and Hubs is like, I'll just go over and get something across. Yeah. No, it's so bad.
It was not good. It was just.
It's really bad for them.
It was appallingly bad. I was just like, oh no.
It's weird. It's like I don't get where that.
It was a bad misstep. Anyway,
with that, Daniel, do you think we've reached the end of the episode?
My dear, we have barely even set the agenda. Cheers.
This has been a Bearded Bitch production recorded in a Diane Keating podcast studio in Haberdashery.
You've been listening to The Bitches with Beards. I've been Daniel.
And I'm Max. A big thanks to you all for tuning in and giving us a listen. Don't forget to rate, subscribe and review the following on Twitter, X and TikTok, where you can find us at Bitches with Beards.
Please remember that only a mother could love our views and opinions, and they reflect us and no one else.
We'll hear you next week unless we're cancelled. Cheers.